Hey, good morning, Jack. It is December, 4th or 5th, and I wanted to do a quick reading. So, first of all, I started a few times already, so I told myself I was just going to let the cards fall and let Spirit tell me what the message was going to be for me today. And I pulled immediately the King of Swords. I don't know if you can see that here. It's kind of out of focus, but either way, that that may be significant, right? So the King of Swords is actually a raven as well on here, and the ravens and the crows. Definitely, the animal kingdom is sending us messages and keeping us kind of aware. Now, the second thing that fell out was this high priestess, and she came out on the, like sideways, right? But I always get when it's like the cards land like that for me, that is kind of like in a paused state. It's not really good or bad. It's just kind of like in the waiting, right? It's just like almost like a void. So I asked what about all of this that we needed, and so I got some more cards to clarify, right? So we're talking about the King of Swords, so we're talking about spirit. I also like to include Archangel Michael as well in this collective, and just the heavens above, right? The 7 ether realms above our understanding of heaven. So we have Archangel Michael, Spirit, and the blue avians here as well. And I'm getting something about the Sombrero Galaxy, and it almost looks as if he's sitting right there on top of the world right here. You know what I mean? Like, it almost looks like he's in the world and above it, right? And then that sword. Okay, so the King of Swords, and it was followed by the 9 of Swords in reverse. And what I got from that was, obviously that in reverse was giving me energy that is coming from somewhere else, right? So the King of Swords is able to discern, the King of Swords and the High Priestess to come out together. That's giving me divine feminine and divine masculine, right? That's just totally kind of what I'm picking up off of that already. And this King of Swords, right? So the King of Swords is going to be a master of mastery of self, right? It's the king of the spirit world realm, or air, space, the sky, that kind of thing. Truth, justice, long reign over the kingdom of the mind, right? So the king sees to the heart of all matters and rules with a keen sense of justice and wisdom. He is truthful, insightful, and a protective leader. His perceptions run deep, and his persona is penetrating, reflecting his great prowess of analysis and concentration. So I literally felt like Spirit was like, all right, I have something for you, right? So that was Spirit letting me know, hey, right now, I've got the power, right? This is the truth hidden, kind of ready to take charge, right? That's kind of what this card is giving. It's spiritually, the King of Swords represents the power of self-mastery and high levels of inner awareness, and has mastered the ability to transform thoughts and ideas into reality by using his great analytical skill and creative powers. So like I said, Spirit it's showing right away that is exactly what I said. Kind of this moment in my life right now where I feel like everything in this universe is waiting for the next part, right? And I'm kind of sitting in this energy of just this high priestess on observation mode, you know, just kicking back sideways and kind of like figuring shit out, catching up to the moment, honestly. Not gonna lie, you know. So, you know, this is not, you know, observation and study have demonstrated that this bird is extremely clever at problem solving, and we are now aware of the high degree of intelligence, right? So I know that I couldn't really say much more than what the card is already signifying, right? This perception, intellectually and intelligently, is surpassing anything that I've ever possessed in the past. Like, it's just been so evident to me that something has changed in my mind, in the chemicals, in the, it's just like the channel. I feel like the frequency that I am on is clear, and if I don't think too much with my, like, you know, needing to find good words to say things that make me sound smart, I can flow into these amazing words that I didn't even know existed that I like don't even know where they're coming from, and it's just, they're literally coming from inside of me, like, but like, you know, they're not mine, right? Because I am very much aware that I've already given that power up to spirit, if not every day and every hour, you know, so much so that, like, it's like my testimony, all the tests that I've gone through, even the ones that may be self-imposed, they all have proven to me, spirit has proven to me, the subtle energies of the elementals, of the fire and the earth and the air and the water, and the subtleties of the trees and the leaves and the branches and the birds and the bees, the bushes and the plants and the flowers, the weeds, you know, all of bugs, any fucking rock or fossil, I mean, wood. Literally everything is conscious. And I can't stop denying the connection that I have made with things that aren't, you know, proven, right? Like, people don't understand that you can speak with the wind, that you can literally be guided by the wind and by the air and the dirt and by the sun and by the, like, subtle energies in every single moment. And so I just needed to slow down a minute and just recognize really quickly what is really going on here. And it is the fact that I have this unshakable knowing of subtle energies are conscious. And that is what Earth is waking up to right now, you know, within all of the realms, within ourselves and of Earth. And, you know, I also like to just extend a little bit of a like a prayer for us right now while I speak about whatever I'm going to just blurt out, because, you know I'm not blurting anything out technically. It's not coming from me, it's spirit, you know. And that's okay. Now, I would like to put a protection prayer over this energy, starting with before I recorded, and obviously time is not linear, so this encompasses any time and place and or portal or dimension that this video may find itself in at any time. But any monitoring spirits of any illegal activity through technology, through astrally, or any sort of mirroring, anything that is not a divine law, may their spiritual ears be deaf and their spiritual eyes be blind. May they be confused as to why they even were monitoring to begin with. And allow their spirit to just focus on something that makes them happy. And allow anything that is negative or any ill intent or any even consciously or unconsciously projected energy towards myself, it's coming from a place of unawareness to the vastness that we truly have the potential to capture in this lifetime. So allow any negativity, ill intention, evil eye, black magic, whatever it is, to be sent back to source, at least from me, and sent up to spirit, sent up to the sun, sent up to source, to be alchemized in the fire of the sun and fully restored, rejuvenated, and sent back to me what is mine. And I release any baggage that is mine, and I release any baggage that is not mine, again, to source, to be recycled and transmuted in fire. I call upon the violet flame. Thank you, Saint Germain, for the violet flame to penetrate my auric field, consuming any negative energies, consciously or unconsciously, that may be lingering in this energy. May we be released and full of the violet flame. I'd like to call on Archangel Raphael, and thank you, Archangel Raphael, for always guiding and healing and assisting whenever I need assistance with healing. Thank you, Archangel Raphael. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel, for trumpeting and guiding my life so silently until recent. I am so blessed to have you, Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Michael, thank you for guiding and protecting me physically, mentally, spiritually, for allowing me to have that clarity of truth and discernment and your armor and your legions of angels. And thank you, Archangel Uriel, for keeping this collective of lovers connected and guided as long as we would be able to stand it, tuning into our hearts. I would like to call upon my ancestors of the light and ancestors, those that came before us, that wish to be of assistance, of beneficent agenda. I'd like to call upon that energy as well. Any ascended masters that have a message today that I also work with in spirit. I'd like to call upon any loved ones from the other side that would like to share a message. Any higher dimensional or higher extraterrestrial even. Anything that is not of the divine plan must leave immediately. If it is not in a beneficent energy, it is not to be in my vicinity, and that is within these walls here on John's property. So if it is not of the divine plan, I'm asking you to leave immediately. Your monitoring is not welcome here. You do not have consent to use my vitality. and the Most High and my ancestors do not play about me. I do not mean you any harm, nor do I wish anyone else any harm. But if you are trying to come against the plan of the Most High, then trust and believe that you will be led back to a state of circling your own ass. And this is no disrespect. Absolutely, this is absolutely no disrespect. This is a boundary that I must place around myself for people of this world who are still operating in the portals within the body that are of red and orange, are capable of just things that they don't understand, and without bringing any attention to that, heaving things in a high vibration, we can become easier to affect, you know. So as we awaken and as these things come online, we are actually becoming more sensitive, more psychically attuned to everything, literally, you know. It can feel overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. One thing you need to understand is that the mental realm of manifestation happens, obviously, the moment we think of it. But the physical aspect of our thoughts coming into this world, as far as like manifestation goes, is a little bit slower. It is speeding up, but it's still a little bit slower. And at the same time, it's not that far away, if that makes sense. So kind of knowing, resting in that, you know, void, or what do they like to say, 0 point energy, kind of like the precipice, if you will, of a black hole, and sitting on that, I think they call it the event horizon. I don't know, something about that is definitely significant. You know, today is going to be a day like there's never been, because there never has been. This day and every day after will be completely on a different frequency that will be charged with energy from far beyond our understanding of reality to this date. Scientific and spiritual ideas are now becoming fully evident of their truth. There's no denying the mastery over subconscious and superconscious awareness, meditation, mindfulness, connecting with the cycles of the universe, i.e. the sunrise and sunset, the moon cycles, 28 days, the aspects of our charts and how those planets and energies affect our energy centers within the chakra bodies, you know, known and unknown. I mean, we are barely tapping into things that many of those in these said occult or esoteric or Eastern philosophies or ideologies or whatever you want to call them, they are still not and haven't allowed, maybe by purpose, maybe not. Maybe we're finally at that awareness to understand that anything that is from a fear-based idea, anything that is of fear is not the truth. For fear is not of this world. It is an illusion. So starting to understand even that our thoughts aren't our own. They're not even something that we should ever judge ourself by. You know, our mind goes on overdrive when the human vessel has not rested, has not purged out certain energies like anger or deep-rooted traumas and things like that, which can simply be expelled by just stomping on the ground, by dancing, by yelling and screaming, or, by using and funneling your energy of what is in you into something else, whether it's journaling, singing, dancing. When you do it with the intention of what you're releasing or what you're trying to, fix the energy into, that's kind of what I can use to best describe like what I'm saying, like transmuting an energy, right? Energy does not change. Or what it is. It's like energy cannot be changed. It can only be transmuted or something like that. So when you're in a constant sphere of negativity, or like you feel, angry or things like that, you can use that anger and actually feel the anger, because you have to feel it to heal it. And if you're only thinking that you're doing something versus actually connecting the heart and the brain together in a moment, and taking the action, which is that masculine side of you, but also being compassionate in that same sense with yourself, that you're not being brash or using hard language to yourself in your mind or verbally out loud, you or anyone else. That is that like full, I don't know how the cross thing goes, but in Reiki, it's like that, and it protects the energy body and aura. We are energetic beings, so we do need to be so aware of this, and I'm gonna be getting so much better at this. I can't even begin to tell you now. In maybe several years from now, you'll look back at this video and remember, wow, dude, that was the day. That was the day that, if there wasn't already many that I've had significantly over the last year that have shown me just how much the universe and God listen to me, and how much of confirmation that I've been given this entire time from my angels and my ancestors and from God and my spirit guides and my guardians and just the elementals and the fairies and the fucking, dragons. It's like literally every single thing that we've dreamt up in this entire existence, and everything that we may not have remembered we've been involved in. Like, it's ancient civilizations, just everything is just, I feel magnetic and powerfully, potently charged to help heal this planet in the ways that needs to be held and healed, because it really does need to be held and healed. Like midwifing everything in the collective, I've been feeling like I understand what it means and what it would mean to be awakening to the unawareness of the fact that I could be fucking Anunnaki, or I could have had a dark agenda attached to my ancestry, and I may have made choices in past lives that weren't for the greater good, and all of these things that I've been literally embodying, the feeling of feeling like I was going to be hunted, and this like this ancient, mating season that we're in right now that goes beyond our own understanding of it. I mean, it's talked about in vast and little subtle ways within everything that I've like found along my journey since I've been out here. I'm kind of not overwhelmed, but I'm kind of enraptured in just the amazing synchronicities that the universe and God and my angels and everything on the other side of the veil has given me up until this moment. I've this Empress energy, feeling like I have literally inherited this earth for Earth, for her freedom. It's not for my possession. Earth is free, and she can breathe, and she can feel okay with communicating with anyone on this planet without their projections, hurting them or making them want to be quiet and shut off their unique energy, whatever it may be. Any tree or bee, let it be. So it's been yeah, see, so this energy that I've been feeling, this energy that spirit is bringing out in me is really talking about this, like, this not, so we're going to say underworld energy, but we're also not meaning it in the avenue of like hell. You know what I mean? Because if you were to ask me, hell is technically on earth walking, right? Our heels. This way they say our Achilles heel. Your Achilles heel is like the tendon that holds everything together here so that you can walk, right? So that if you can understand physical reality is heel, right? But heel, you know, heal or heal, ache or heal. Like you can H-E-A-L or H-E-E-L. You know what I mean? If you know, you know where I'm trying to go with that. So our records indicate that the ravens have coexisted with humanity for thousands of years, you know, and this is what I think that we're being shown how important it is to coexist with everything in existence, because without all of those things, we wouldn't ourselves be here either. So the veneration and the respect and the notability and the notoriety and the communication openly, as much as each individual soul wishes to, but you know, besides the fact of the wishing to communicate, because you can have respect for somebody or something without having to like or offer, like, you know, gestures of you know, good wealth or good appreciation. You know, like when you offer flowers to a tree, that really is such an energetic positive deposit of offering your your conscious connection with something. It's you know, physically showing in the densest reality the connection that you're trying to make with something, whether it's to your higher self, whether it's to the doorknob, which is greater than you, which is, you know, to whatever it is, just a tree alone or Gaia herself. That's important. So these things that we're beginning to become aware of, you know, they have played a long and prominent role in the myths and legends of indigenous cultures throughout the world. So these birds as well represent the inner mysteries and self-knowledge and introspection, right? So this is a messenger for the unknown, and you know, they possess an awareness of the inner light and that illuminates the true self. In mythology, it is believed that the raven enters the darkness and returns with the light, thereby illuminating the world. And this is also giving, you know, that, like, I wouldn't say Lucifer energy, because I find that so many words in our society are gonna fuck with our minds so much right now, because you can think of it like this. The words that came before us are creating or have created the reality as we know it for the last 25,000 years. Now, we can go back and look in the Sumerian tablets and certain things like this and try to get a grasp on the timeline, if you will, but I don't think that really our humanity is adept enough to understand the complexities of how many times this universe or Earth or whatever has really happened, or, you know what I mean? It's a profoundly complex idea that is hard for the third dimensional mind to decipher. Really, that's the best way I could say that. So, in mythology, this bird, the raven, is believed, right, to enter the darkness and return with the light, right, illuminating the world. And You know, I'm somebody who resonates with the, you know, the dark night of the soul energy, which is kind of what the collective of Earth is going through right now. 3 years ago, around this time, maybe 4 years ago, when I became a little bit more illuminated to some truths within my own story, I discovered that, you know, I was this dark night of the soul is kind of like what Batman goes through, you know, and there again we're talking about that that upside down or hanged man energy as well, which is underworld energy, if you will, which just kind of gives an Odin energy, right? Which gives a sacrifice. Odin he sacrificed his eye, one of his eyes, to see things from a different perspective. You know what I mean? He literally sacrificed everything about him and lived in that spirit energy, which is the underworld, which is the other side of the veil, really. And so with that idea and the way that things are unfolding right now, even being that we are coming up to the, we just actually, you know, we're coming up against the soul. We just had the equinox back in September. September 23rd this year was the equinox. We've had several celestial events since then, and now we are moving into the sun kind of illumination on the 25th. You know, that's Christmas. And Christmas Eve, you know, the 24/24. We have a couple portal days coming up, which is 12/12. And so this energy right now is fucking wild, man. It's talking about returning the light, right? Illuminating the world, and how extremely intelligent birds are even said to keep the knowledge of oracles and omens, right? If you are somebody who resonates as a starseed, I'm collectively energizing myself into this energy, right? Because I don't do anything without completely embodying it, and I don't wish to tap into anything that is not of the highest good of all, for the most, you know, positive outcome that all of us who are agreeing with this can align to. I'm trying to be very careful with the words that I use as well, and trying not to get too distracted with the things that are happening outside of me right now, which I'm sure many of you guys are experiencing as well. So I just wanted to make sure that before I even get any farther in this reading, Spirit is trying to make us aware of how initiated this energy that we are in is, whether you have consciously been aware of this or not. If you're watching this message, if you are seeing this message, know and trust and believe that you have aligned with this message, because you are at that same frequency. You became a vibrational match to this truth, and you may also be feeling the same energies that myself and many others may be feeling right now. Well, let's ask ourselves, what are we feeling truthfully? Well, honestly, you know, I'm feeling a little discomforted, but not in a way of like super pain. You know, I don't want to say that I'm ignoring some of my own body signals, but I definitely know that being in a state of loving yourself, accepting yourself, not, you know, getting and saying certain things that are going to make your body feel even more disconnected to yourself. Because I believe what's going on right now is the mass, maybe the first wave, or the Starseed Collective, the Light Worker Collective, or the extrasensory, you know, PTSD or CPTSD, NJ, NIFs, or whatever the fucks you are. Whatever you resonate as, what other, you know, sensitive of us, intuitives, psychics, you know, whoever may be aligning with this message right now. We are all becoming hyper aware of what it is that's going on, right? Everything in this existence is working in our favor. And it's getting harder to ignore it, because the more that we ignore it, the louder it gets, and the more it resonates inside of us. Like for me personally, I know I have this deep connection to Mother Gaia, to Earth, right? My heart chakra, the heart chakra of Earth, and the heart chakra of the galaxy, I feel deeply connected to, not only because it's in my chart, but somehow I've become keenly aware of how true that really is, through soul retrieval and everything else. So the mind is going to want to play some tricks on us right now, which is going to want us to believe that we are not really experiencing this King of Swords truth from the Most High, that our connection to the Most High and to our knowing and our higher self, who sits at the throne with God, you know, shining and praising Him all of our days and hours of every moment, you know, eternally. That is the disconnect that we are having to become aware of. And that is why we're sitting in this observation of, you know, just kind of viewing it without any judgment, right? Because I'm trying to pick a way to express how that would best resonate, right? So the high priestess sitting on her side, right? Well, yeah, it's almost like an unknown pause, right? Between the worlds, between worlds, right? Yeah, it's so sitting on its side, we've got a portal. It just is giving some pretty deep connections, you know. You've got the black and the white here as well. And this is like a holy high priestess energy, right? And it's also got this, you know, different planes. Different portals, different gateways. It's also showing another evergreen here as well. There's a bunch of evergreens. That's all I see here, actually, is these evergreens. So you've got this high priestess here sitting in that energy. Now, this is a Western red cedar, and that's kind of funny because cedar is the tree pod that I was in when I first started this journey in 2020, you know, during COVID. And cedar was the pod, like I said, and that was when I had my Phoenix awareness, and I became much more concerned about my spiritual identity at that time than I ever had before, and my prayer began to become way more opened up than ever before. And it has just grown and grown and grown. Well, cedar, you know, again with this this seeding energy, this fertility energy that we have in the air right now, this almost like supercharged fertility, like I said. We're also talking about, I see Lumeria as well, right? We have, it's, so anyways, I got kind of squirreled, right? So anyways, we're talking about this cedar, seeding her, or seeding Earth, seeding the planet and Gaia and our future with good deeds, right? This tree reaches 230 feet, and with a girth sometimes exceeding 13 feet. That's giving me the number 23 and the number 13. So you may resonate with the number 23, which equals a 5, which is a divine and or the material realm or spirit. And then we also have 13 being the sacred feminine, divine feminine truth, right? Which is the 1 to the 3 and the 3 to the 4. I don't know. If you know, you know. This tree was the focus of an entire way of life in tribal communities, providing food, shelter, and ceremony. I'm finding it very hard today in this masculine world to tap into spirit without feeling so anxious, because for whatever reason, society and, each of us individually and together have all been driven so far from our receptive feminine energy, which is the ability to just sit in stillness with this constantly barraging urgency that surrounds us in today's society. It's just it really becomes hard to be still. And this is only the first card that I have started to unravel, right? This is a big deal. This energy that we're in, this time that we're shifting from and into, should be reveled in and totally absorbed mindfully and with grace and with love. And we are only accepting love and loving relationships. And no one's trying to tell anyone what to do or how to do it, but we are all allowing the space to be and do whatever it is that we want. And we're releasing any thoughts either projected by society that may be instilled in our subconscious, or things that may be coming from outside forces. Whatever it is, none of it is allowed. And when it is observed and seen, it's released immediately with love, and that's all there is to it. So this is an intelligent bird, right? It's a keeper of knowledge and of oracles and omens. And the raven is about initiation, protection, healing, and transformation. It's an ancient bird with wisdom to share about its long association with humanity. The raven is a spirit guide, embodying high levels of awareness and inspiring spiritual awakenings. So Earth is literally going through this right now. If you haven't already experienced spirit or source, or almost intuitive usherings into the knowing of spirit, right? Spirit guides and inspiring spiritual awakening, that's what's happening right now. Again, we're talking about we're also talking about what's becoming aware to humanity as well, that many of us are not entirely of Earth. Many of us don't come from here at all. We actually originated from much more ancient parts of our galaxy. And, this western red cedar, we're talking about giant energies that were here on Earth. Think of Egypt and some of these massive statues and megaliths all over the earth, right? It says they're thousands, known to be over thousands of years old, individual trees, right? And I believe when we're saying individual trees, we're talking about individual ancient souls here, okay? They have a long and rich relationship with indigenous cultures. So we're talking about all of the ancient traditions across the earth is what we're talking about. We're talking about an ancient soul, or in a soul group, and soul groups, that are just becoming aware of the truth in their soul's like age, right? The cedar is known as a generous and giving tree and the keeper of ancient wisdom. So these souls, this soul, or if you resonate with this message, these souls, these are ancient mystery masters of every incarnation that's ever existed here on earth, known and unknown. Okay, the trees are a focus of an entire way of life in tribal communities. Okay, they know how to survive and survive with, you know, they're like the avatars, right? Tools for working with its wood has been found dating to 8,000 years ago. So, you know, we're talking about the tools that these ancient souls are able to connect to. You know, they are generous with their knowledge because they hold ancient wisdom, almost like a time capsule that has been held back and kind of running and collecting, watching, if you will, observing the world. It's now a symbolism, and the qualities represent the cedar include strength, longevity, healing, protection, and incorruptible character. Right? Because, again, like I said, I myself have been struggling with self-deprecating thoughts that I know are not mine. I know that they aren't coming from me, and I know that they are just coming from this autopilot mechanism of my mind that is being challenged right now, especially with the astrological alignments and everything else with Saturn and just this cycle of the universe and the sun and the moon and just everything else. Everything is changing. Literally, we're really walking into this Aquarius age, you know. So right off the bat, you know, Spirit showing up for us like, hey, relax. It's okay. Your mind is going millions of miles faster than most, but everything that you are going through is being recorded for the collective awareness. So if you can kind of understand that it's not all for naught, soldier, you know. So this is kind of a beautiful time right now to really drink in everything that you're saying and everything that's going on around you. And, you know, who cares really, without being disrespectful to anyone else? Because, you know, when you give this to yourself in a day, every day, you can give more of yourself to the rest of the world, and it's beautiful, and it's even with less effort, which is amazing. So with this Nine of Swords being in reverse, I feel like that's kind of indicating, you know, it speaks of the great inner despair, right, that leads to an awakening. This is an energy that's in reverse because it's not really what's true. It's really just this embodied disillusionment of suffering that we are embroiled in, right? This denial, maybe, you know, this denial that even you believing in your truth, right? This is giving me this, like I said, illusion. So the Nine of Swords also calls us to arouse the personality from our long-held beliefs, right? So we could even be imposing this subconsciously as well, to become aware of our limiting beliefs that we've, you know, refused to do anything about. So we're really being called now to take a look at this. And also, this is kind of giving me that same thing, like, are we sure that we've, you know, we're in this energy, or are we in this energy? It's kind of, it's a little bit easier to read, you know, kind of fluidly, right? Kind of in this energy when we're looking at it sideways, right? So we can recognize our denial and face those aspects of ourselves that are limiting us. And we realize our bondage and we wake up, right? We as a collective, we all wake up. We realize that maybe some of these ideas that we've held on to for so many centuries that have been, you know, in our bloodlines, maybe had, you know, they've been long-standing beliefs in society even. you know, we can become aware of these in every second and every moment, and we start releasing ourselves of these bondages and recognizing that the chain is not tight around our neck, but just loosely surrounding it, you know, kind of like the fleas inside that container. You know, the fleas can jump 10,000 fucking feet or whatever, but like when they're contained inside of something, they only know to be within that containment. So but once they become aware that they can jump outside of that, they become fully aware, right? So it's a promise. This is promising news, and the swords are all aligned and pointing eastward towards the rising sun, like the dawning of the day and awakening to a fresh new morning. Now, right? So what are aspects of ourselves that are limiting us? Okay, and you may run into you know, some dragonflies today if this is needing your further confirmation of this transformation that many of the collective is going through right now. These are like almost like, you can think of what's happening on Earth right now happening in like on the ley lines, like bands, you know, like yeah, so when you think of this today, think of this challenge, challenging you to shake up your rigid thought patterns and prompting the energy of change, okay? The dragonfly represents the power of light and suggests that with commitment to our awakening, we too will shine with our own true colors. And as we contemplate the Nine of Swords, let us imagine freeing this spirit guide, the dragon free, from its bondage. That's big. All right? So we also have this belladonna here, and I see angel number 133. This belladonna is commonly known as a nightshade, right? It's a botanical derived from Greek mythology. It's taken from one of the three fates, and who cuts the thread of life just as deadly nightshade would do if ingested. The leaves and berries are extremely toxic, okay? So this is talking about... In the past, it was used by Italian women to make eye drops because it enlarged the pupils and made their eyes appear more beautiful. Symbolically, the belladonna represents both falsehood and the ability to recognize bitter truths. So I'm going to take that as a hint to also take a really good look at myself and the habits and the things, whether they are on any level, you know, toxic, whether that's thoughts, foods, habits, friends, places, any of those things. You know, what is it that are representing both falsehood and the ability to recognize bitter truths? This is that energy of observation that is able to just not be judgmental, but also extremely aware of the limiting beliefs and and how we're refusing to do anything about them. Okay. So it may not be the easiest thing to sit down with right now, and even not knowing what to do can be hard. So I understand that. Try to go outside and ground and connect with nature if you can. Do some visualization meditations, put on some frequencies, put on some music, go for a walk, you know, take a spiritual bath. Be a kid. Be a kid, okay? All right, so reason why things are so heightened right now is obviously because the shifting of the timeline, right? We are aligning with heaven on earth here, or many of us who are bringing this in are aligning with heaven on earth. So what does that mean? That means that whatever our minds are generating and whatever we are feeling is going to be brought into this existence. And so we're manifesting the unconditional love of the fifth dimension, right? So there's that. I think since we are showing this six of Pentacles also in the observation of, sideways energy. Observing the Six of Pentacles, it's easy to recognize balance as its key message. Balance is a powerful force when put into action. The Six of Pentacles indicates the abundance and wealth we have acquired through hard work and our own initiative. As a result, it is time to thoughtfully balance our actions by expressing gratitude through generosity to others, humanitarianism, and good judgment in all of our deeds, right? So again, asking ourselves to slow down just a little and acknowledge the initiative that we have given ourselves in this time, balancing our actions and expressing gratitude. And God, I could not be more grateful for this moment. I couldn't be more. If I could just sit here all day today and just speak this into existence of how grateful I am for everything that I am being, given and shown, and that I've been tested through, all the struggles and everything that I've gone through in my life have really, really been all so much of a key. We are now in a position to learn the value of giving and of sharing our wealth with others, okay? True sharing, however, may not always mean sharing our worldly goods. It's also important to recognize and honor the emotional needs of those around us by observing more deeply the needs of others. We will learn a great deal about the sharing process. It encourages us to explore the balance between giving and receiving. And right now, I'm used to being in a giving always, and I'm struggling even right now because I know that I've got loved ones surrounding me that do and do deserve and will get that attention from me, but I'm forcing myself to sit in this right now, even though it's super uncomfortable for me. I feel like I just want to run out there and tell everyone like what I'm up to so that I can gain a little bit of comfort while I do this, but it's like I don't have that choice right now anymore. It's like, dude, either you're gonna give to yourself, love yourself, and be yourself, and the rest of everything will understand that you can't give from an empty cup, and that you will be much more of assistance and helpful when you are filled up, right? And this is what fills me up. So we are talking about the giving and the sharing, right? And being in a good judgment in all of our deeds, and how we've learned the value of giving and sharing, by observing more deeply the needs of others and learning a great deal about the sharing process. We encouraged us to explore the balance between giving and receiving. This card can also represent the opportunity to achieve balance between intellectual and emotional forces within ourselves. If we can find balance in these aspects of our personality, we will then become aware of the powerful role that balance in our success and achievements, of the powerful role that it plays in our lives, right? So maybe recognizing and honoring, observing more deeply the needs of yourself and others around you, including the nature as well. Okay, we've got the moth shown here, and like I said, okay, I'm going to just read this card. The family of silk moths known as Saturnaid is found worldwide and contains more than 1,000 species, okay? These are the world's largest and most spectacular moths. These giant moths survive with a striking rich brown in color with translucent patches on its wings. Okay, so there again, we're talking about these translucent, ethereal winged energies that are kind of coming out of this cocoon phase right now with society. Symbolically, they represent balancing hard work and activity with calmness and tranquility, right? Like I've been saying. They teach us when to let go and when to cling to the lessons relevant to our emotional, intellectual, and physical well-being. The moth expresses the art of gathering and harvesting using strength or softness and the balance of tasks of taking and giving, representing transformation because of their fascinating growth known as metamorphosis. They are active at night, and their transformation is symbolic of the unconscious progress or changes we make unknowingly. Okay? We also have the bamboo as well here, which is a member of the grass family. It's one of the fastest growing plants on earth. Under the right conditions, they can grow as much as 8 feet in one day. They have long been harvested for materials and food, and a giant panda and a food source, chimpanzees, elephants and gorillas, some of those big animals, you know, in nature that have been here for a long time. They symbolically, the bamboo symbolizes balance and strength and represents prosperity, growth, and flexibility, moving with the wind and standing tall in the most adverse conditions. Bamboo teaches us the qualities of integrity and flexibility. Now, and also this little plant that's on here is another evergreen. So we've got four evergreens at least now showing here, you know, and more indigenous ancient early settlers, right? And we're talking about this Cree Pipasue. It means it breaks into small pieces. You know, it represents money. And I feel like that's kind of giving that energy of what is kind of coming into the collective's awareness. All right, so there is definitely an energy of unease in the collective today, which we're going to dispel the longer that I give to this energy. And you can hear it in the background as more feelings and energies are being used to represent the forces that have frustration about what is happening right now. We're talking about a star, okay, who is coming into their, you know, we're talking about the star here. Let me just slow down just for 1 second and recognize here, okay? We literally have spirit showing us how aware we are, even in the dark nights, right? The truths. How this high priestess energy and this observation of all of our hard work and this initiations that we've gone through that have been pretty much alone and silently. You know, the star card is an energy of, you know, think of like, I like to think of it as the North Star or illumination. You know, some would even call it the rising star, the morning star, you know. But we're talking about this star emerging from the waters of life, shimmering, exquisite, transcendental, and full of hope, bathing in the rays of deep mystery and higher wisdom, right? We're talking about the collective of ancient souls who is inviting us to cast our intentions into the watery depths and bring to the surface new guidance and restorative powers, okay? That is what's being illuminated right now on Earth. And it's surrounding the star, and it's in, you know, we're in a place of this naked innocence, you know, where we're presented with ourselves openly and connecting with this radiating light within us, right? Which is really just spirit, you know. It's a star, our guide to meditation, inner blessings, and rebirth, slipping us into the waters of serenity by encouraging the mastery of a quiet mind. And if you're anything like myself, a quiet mind right now has been very hard, especially with the added stress and attacks that many of you and myself are under all day. But if it wasn't for those spiritual awarenesses that I am nudged to taking care of in spiritual hygiene ways, they just make me sharper, right? They just make it easier. So these waters contain healing and cleansing properties and the promise of renewal, okay? This is what is being available to us now, representing these 5 senses and the expansion of human experience. The other stream pours into the water and represents the conscious decision of the soul to enhance its connection with the deeper waters of life. And as we mature, we learn to practice stillness in our daily lives and invite illumination, okay? We also have this white tern here, and, you know, these are just talking even more here about this egg and this incubation period. It may seem like, you know, for weeks and weeks, you've been surrounded in what seems like no protection around you, you know, completely visible with no means of protection. But, you know, these are just illusions that we've been kind of dividing us, right? So again, we are talking about peace and a transcendence in this time that's being brought into this world. In a world filled with complexities and contradictions, the white tern symbolizes the ability to live fearlessly and with the guidance of spirit. Now, I'm gonna admit, which I already know spirit is aware of, my own personal things that I've got to work on or within myself, and I work with them within myself, but I know that I'm whole in spirit, so I don't look bad or down upon any of the things that I do in my life, because I know that they are a means to an end in many ways, and I live fearlessly with that truth and the guidance of spirit regardless, you know. And this bird also represents how an amazingly brave and curious bird that does not hesitate to approach and or hover over interesting visitors who approach, embodying purity and innocence. It inspires awe in all those who are fortunate enough to come within its presence, okay? And that is what you need to embody, sis, is literally how powerful it is to be in your presence, to embody, you know, purity and innocence after all of the darkness that you've been around and had to be within. Yeah, like you are nourishing your nourishment for poor soil, which can be represented as like souls. Poor, you know, you are an exotic and possess an unearthly quality, a watery and heavenly fragrance and nature, symbolizing entering other realms and ushering in the divine, right? You are a vessel for collecting good luck and fortune. And, you know, you are delicate and you know, very rare. Named a starflower because its stalk is as fine as a single hair, and the flower appears to hang in the air like a tiny star. In the card, the 7 star flowers represent the 7 energy centers of the body that host the inner flame. And this is all exactly everything that I've been following and been channeling for a while. These 7 portals, these 7 rays of the rainbow, they're portals and energetic gateways that can connect and align with us in just really profound ways, you know. Energy centers of the body and the energy centers of Earth and the energy centers of the universe. Okay? This is a big deal. And I know, you know, you're going to look back at yourself and you're going to be like, geez, girl. It's all good, though. You know, I had to go right back, descend to ascend, right? Now, we're getting ready to rise above all the difficulties, right? With this character holding the sword high. And we're extending it into the heavenly realms with an indication of readiness, growth, and clear vision from a new perspective. We're not fully in this new liberating awareness, but we are representing an emergence from troubled times and being surrounded by rising positive energies. It appears when we have learned to apply our mind with both insight and clarity and awareness, and deepening our own understanding with our now continue to develop and begin to flow. Okay. Allowing the light that is within us to illuminate our lives, representing expanding beyond our limitations so that we experience our intimate connection with the subtle energies of inner spirit. And, you know, that's pretty fucking cool, man. We're talking also again about these old, you know, about carrying away these old unresolved issues and releasing them, and carrying away the process that which is lifeless and dead, and making way for new growth. We're talking about transformation again, representing a metamorphosis, a resurrection, and a rebirth into a new and higher spiritual awareness. And if you are anything like myself, you've gone through probably 4 deaths and rebirths every month for the last year. You know, and now we're at this time of remembrance and this giant flower of consciousness bursting forth, you know, with this awakening to remind us of the first earth energies rising, of a youthful inheritance. All right. A lot of swords energy, a lot of intellect, and a lot of things that, you know, like I said, they've been like energies that are, you know, of the mind. Now, the Two of Swords represents a position of calm preparedness, blinded to the choices of or events of yet to come. You are in a poised and perspective state, and your readiness for whatever lies ahead. It represents facing choices and challenges with mental clarity and the ability to not succumb to any emotional reactivities, right? Trusting our invisible forces at play and remaining balanced and confident that everything that we've been through is going to manifest just how we've envisioned it too, right? So this bird is a meditative state, symbolizing maintaining balance through focus and standing in deep water, right? These deep emotions, studying in silence and finding clarity, self-determination, self-reliance, and looking deeper into the many aspects of our lives which we have remained unaware, which have been made unaware. Understand and develop our own personal rhythm. And to entwine, right? We are examining the imagery of this card. It's easy to characterize. Okay, so calm perseverance to resolve. Engaging in contemplative work and looking more deeply within gives us the opportunity to unravel the complexities we have encountered. Humility, another important quality necessary for clarity to unfold. Okay, so we're still in this place of looking for this clarity, which, you know, like I said, have patience with yourself. So the Three of Swords penetrates the heart of illusion. It's our call to see life with a new, clearer perspective. This can be a painful process because we must let go of the attachments that limit us in our journey into awareness. So, some tarot interpretations say that piercing swords represent the swords of reason or intellect, and their purpose is to open the heart into true understandings and clarity of purpose. Often the forces represented by the Three of Swords seem to pull us into sadness and self-pity, but rightly understood, this card is a positive open, representing the awakening of courage, truth, discernment, and maturity. Once we rise to the noble spirit that resides within us, we become our own liberators. Okay? Talking about including faith and trust in our higher power and heaven, releasing ourselves from whatever is binding us, and releasing ourselves from that. Okay? All right. Well, that seems like a pretty big message in and of itself. Let me get a couple more cards and then we will end this message here. Very much aware of the energies of today. I'm going to see if there's anything else from the nature spirits that I would like to say. That the Hangman energy is definitely here. Thank you. Thank you, nature spirits. Thank you, nature guides. Thank you. What else would there... Okay, what else would you like to share with us today? Any messages that we may need to be aware of? With clarity and truth to understand the collective energies that we are moving through. And then... That's it. Okay. All right, so... Wow. Okay, so we have these truths, this Ace of Swords and this Ace of Cups coming out, and this Eight of Cups, okay? So look at how much blue energy is here right now. We've got the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, so we've got just a lot of things to our disposal right now that is positive. You know, the ace, two double aces. It's also giving me 22. So the Ace of Swords is an inspirational energy. No, excuse me, Ace of Swords. That's what we're doing. But we have the Ace of Cups, right? It's a card of the heart, exuding harmony, peace, tranquility, and the most powerful emotion of all, love. And encountering life's many emotional situations, we should carry and keep love at our highest goal. And we will be guided to right action by the divine, okay? Symbolic of purity, grace, thoughtful, the entire cycle of the cups providing a resting place amid the emotional upheavals of life, okay? So, again, talking about this flourishing, watery energy. We've got the Ace of Swords also here, again, signifying the truth. I apologize for any what seems to be like chaotic energy, but it's definitely not as it seems, right? So we've got this focused energy and vision and clarity. We've got to step out of this illusion of life. We're talking about, again, this 1,000-year awareness, this crystalline, awareness. And now we've got this Seven of Wands. We need to confront whatever. It came out in the reverse. So maybe we do need to be aware of some of these things. Like, are we being inspired by higher spiritual goals? Do we believe in our cause? And are we now in a strong position to move into action? Always, even from our high moral ground, it's necessary to listen to our inner guidance. This is more of that going inwards energy, being cautious, to not allow our passions to overrule our newly developed intuitive senses, right? This is a quest to discover the true self, to uncover our hidden truths and inner realities. The art of communication, expressing desires of the heart, and spiritual warriors. We've got a lot of Christmas energies here as well. Harmony with the needs of others. So we're being asked to work in this community energy, and we've got this Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is here, which is amazing. And we got this Page of Pentacles, which these are, this is a really great energy to be working within today. And just to know that, you know, we don't have to have all the answers right now. It's not for us to know every answer, you know. This Page of Pentacles is showing that you've grown through experience and now understand the importance of connection to the community, as I just mentioned, right? We're loving and living in the new ideas and representing beginnings and new adventures, new projects, community and relationships within. We're talking about emerging out of this larva state with, you know, representing our community mindedness and cooperation, attuning to nature and having a free spirited attitude. And these healers as well, these shamans that are going to be kind of emerging all over Earth to kind of help with this new timeline, really. You know, now we have a master of the mental realms, and now we have a master of the emotional realms, right? So that is very, very conscious action with unconscious thoughts, manifesting for a higher awareness. Okay, intuitive, comforting to others, and serene, and is always aware of her emotions. Okay, so just go ahead and take that in, and remember, you know, that this is the time that we are going to call back our power. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit guides. Thank you, assistances from the subtle realms, known and unknown, mentioned in ones that just don't need to be mentioned. Thank you so much for all of your guidance and assistance in this journey here on Earth. I call back my power in this moment. I'm going to release a powerful mantra, prayer. I call back all of my power. You can repeat this after me. From every person, place, and entity, from every space, portal, time, and dimension, from every connection, attachment, and vessel where I left it. Anyone or anything that is attempting to siphon my energy, known or unknown, you do not have my consent to use my vitality, and I call my power back. I now release that which is not my own. I lay down the weight that does not belong to me, as well as the weight that does. I forgive all things and all people and all others. I forgive myself, and I cloak myself in a bright white light of protection, impenetrable. I shed light to my shadows and lovingly work through all insecurities, flaws, and self-destructive habits that cause me to flow in the ways that are not aligned with how I was created to. I honor those parts of myself, and I love them to life. Any and every soul tie is now disconnected. My mind is decluttered, and I see clearly those who no longer serve me and the mindset attached to them. I take time for self-evaluation to uncover what in me connected me to that energy, and I heal my broken places and pieces. I take up space in my own life, and I unapologetically do the same in rooms that I walk into. My light with my energy speaks for me before I even ever open my mouth. I speak those things that are not as though they were, not as if they have never been, but I activate them with my light energy into being from obscurity. My liberation reverberates and pushes away any energy that is not on the same frequency, and I align knowing that this is all that is required of me, and I receive all of my power back. Ase. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and see if there's a message here for, yeah, we're talking about the number 19 and the number 69. It's a serpent power, ray of creation. We're talking about sexuality, wisdom, life force, and an increasing awareness. Oopsies. All right. We're talking about the lady which is an archetype of embodiment that is empowering and present where I am being we're talking about the spider and patterns, free will, self-expression, and creating reality, and the goddess, transcendence, heaven and earth, karmic purpose, and faithful truth. So, you know, welcome to my channel. Hi. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Go out there and work in your communities, and lay in fear down to still waters and God's plan. All right? Love you.